Hey everyone, I hope you all are doing great. Welcome back to Target Pabbat. I'm Bhavna Verma and we are discussing Lakshmikant for Public Administration. So in today's video, we will discuss the classical theory which was commentated by Henri Fayol, Ulrich, Luther Gulick and others. So we will discuss first the basic theme of this theory. So classical theory of administration was developed during the first half of the 20th century, means near about by 1916 near about. Okay, so classical theory of administration was developed during the first half of the 20th century. The major commentator or the exponent of this theory are Henry Fayol, Luther Gulick, Lyndon Ulrich, J.D. Mooney, A.C. Raleigh, Mary Parker Follett and R. Shelton. And this theory reached its zenith in 1937, means the peak time of this theory was in 1937 when on the papers on the science of administration was Gulick and Ulrich was published. Means this theory was at zenith or its peak time when the papers on the science of administration by Gulick and Ulrich was published. So this can be a fact that you must remember, that this theory was reached its zenith in 1937 when the papers on the science of administration by Gulick and Ulrich was published. And this book is the most persuasive exposition of the classical approach to the administration. Means this book can be can be called as a basis of or most persuasive exposition for classical approach to the administration. Classical theory of administration can be called or is known by various names such as traditional theory, as we can understand by word classical itself that it is a traditional theory, and the formal organization theory and the mechanistic theory as well, and it is also called a structural theory, management process school, and it is also called as administrative management theory by Marge and Simon. So this theory can be called or is known by various names such as traditional theory, formal organization, mechanistic theory, structural theory, management process school, or administrative management theory by March and Simon. Unlike Taylor scientific management, the scientific management principle was given by F.W. Taylor, Frederick Winslow Taylor, which was focused on the efficiency of shop floor of the organization. Means scientific management theory was focused on the shop floor of an administration or organization, means the lower level of organization, but this theory, it has a broader approach to organization. This theory is concerned at the higher level, means this theory is mainly focused on the management. So unlike Taylor scientific management theory, which was mainly focused on the shop floor of the organization, but this theory, this classical theory of Henry Fayol, it has a broader approach to organization. It is concerned with the formal organization structure as well as the process of administration, means management. This theory is linked, or this theory has focused on the efficiency at the top level of administration or at the managerial level of the organization. Its characteristic features are specialization such as division of work, hierarchy, rationality, impersonality, order, structure, economy and efficiency. However, the division of labor is the central tenet of the classical theory. Means division of labor is the central or key area or concern area of the classical theory of administration. Further, the classical theory, like the scientific management, advocates the concept of economic man. We have discussed this, that man is an economic man, so he can be motivated by economic factors, or he can be motivated by economic features, such as we can include an incentive bonuses plan in our organization, so that the man can be motivated by these features, or ultimately he is agreed to give their best, or he will give their best to in the growth of the or in the success of the organization. The classical theory firmly believed that the efficiency and economy of the organization can be maximized when it is established in accordance with certain fundamental principle. Means the economy or efficiency of the organization can be maximized, or can be its in favor when in accordance with the certain fundamental principle establishment. Means if we establish some certain fundamental principle, then we can see a substantial growth in the efficiency and economy of the organization. Formulating principle of organization became their most important concerns. Formulating principles, they also believe that administration is same everywhere. Means administration in the house, whether it is a respective of nature, types, context of work, it is same at everywhere. Hence they concluded that administration is administration irrespective of the nature, type and context of work. And hence they concluded that principle of organization have universal validity. Means it is same whether we are administering, or we are into a house, a small company, or big organization, or large organization, or MNC and all. But if administration is administration, we need to administer in the every kind of organization, or every type of organization, irrespective of the nature of the work. Okay, as stated by Mohit Bhattacharya, this is an assertion of positivism and universalism. Means this is an assertion of positivism and universalism. Administration is a science and its principles are universally applicable. Hence, we can state that administration is a science where the principle in the science or administration have universal validity or universally applicable. They all are applicable in an equal manner, whether it's a small kind of firm or whether it's a large organization, okay, or irrespective of the nature of the work. The central theme of the classical theory of administration was summarized by Gulick and Ulrich in the papers on the science of administration. Means the central theme, means the central key point of this classical theory of organization was summarized by Gulick and Ulrich in their papers on the science of administration. They said that it is a general thesis of the paper that are principle which can be derived and inductively from the study of a human organization, which should govern the arrangement for human association of any kind. This principle can be studied as a technical question irrespective of the purpose of the organization, personal, comprising, or any constitutional, political, or social theory underlying its creation. Means these administration is a science and their principle have universal validity. They are applicable in a same manner irrespective of the nature of the organization, irrespective of the personal comprising it, or irrespective of the constitutional, political, or any social theory underlying its creation. It is same. Means administration means administration, no matters we are in what we are dealing in. Okay, then we have contribution of Henri Fayol. So in respect to classical theory of administration, first we will discuss the contribution of Henri Fayol. So Henri Fayol was basically a French mining engineer. He was mining executive, author and director of mines, who developed a general theory of business administration, then often called Fayolism. And he was born in Istanbul, Turkey in 1841. He was born in Turkey in 1841 and he died in France in 1925. The most famous book of Henri Fayol, or books which was written by Henri Fayol, are General and Industrial Management in 1916, Henri Fayol Classic General and Industrial Administration in 1987, Henri Fayol's Classic General and Industrial Management in 1987. This book was wrote by Henri Fayol and Irvin Gray. Okay, so Henri Fayol, the French engineer, is regarded as the classical theory of administration. He is regarded as the father of classical theory. His General and Industrial Management was first published in 1916 and its English translation was published in 1929. He did not make any distinction between public and private administration. Means his General and Industrial Management book was first published in 1916 and he wrote this book in 1987, and its English translation was published in 1929. And he said that he did not make any distinction between public and private administration. And thus he wrote that we are no longer comforted with the several administrative sciences, but with one we can be applied equally well to public and private affairs. Means there is no distinction between the public and private administration. We can apply the principle of administration in both public and private sectors, or public and private sectors, public and private affairs. The contribution of Henry Fayol to the growth of classic administrative thought can be studied under three heads. First is activities of industrial undertaking, then elements of administration, then we have principle of administration. We will discuss the 14th principle of administration, and we will discuss the activities of industrial undertaking. 6 activities we will basically discuss. Okay, so let's start with one by one. First we will discuss the activities of industrial undertaking. So Henry Fayol divided the totality of activities of industrial undertaking into 6 groups. First is technical activities such as production, manufacture and adaptation. Second is commercial activities, buying, selling and exchange. Third one is financial activities. This is search for optimum use of capitalism. Means we need to utilize the capital, and we need to utilize capital at its end. Okay. Next is security activities such as protection of property and persons. Means security, every activity which is related to the security will comes under this security activities. Accounting activities means auditing, or we can say basic accounting activities such as stock taking, balance sheet, cost, statistics, what are the liabilities, what are the assets of the company will come under this head. Then we have managerial or administrative activities such as planning, organization, command, coordination and control. So everything will be come under this head. Means these are the activities, these are the 6 group of activities which are concerned, or which are related to the activities such as production, manufacturing, adaptation, buying, selling, exchange of goods and services, optimum use of capital, then protection of properties, persons, stock taking, financial activities, basic accounting activities, managerial activities such as planning, organizing, command, controlling, budgeting, reporting. Everything are divided in these 6 group of activities. Okay. Then we have elements of administration. So there are 5 types of elements of administration, or we can call it as functions of administration. So these are to foresee and plan, to means to forecast the things and making a plan, such as previsions and previewed. That is examining the future and drawing up a plan of action. The plan should have the characteristics of unity, continuity, flexibility and precision. Means these are the activity which are basically, or we can call it as related to the planning department, that we need to analyze the future, then we need to analyze the market so that we can make a plan according to that, and if there is a chances of any amendment or changes, we can do it. Means these plans should have a unity and continuity and flexibility as well, so that we can make any changes according to the need of the time. Then we have to organize, that is to build up a dual structure such as material and human of the undertaking. Then to command, that is to maintain activity among personnel. Means there should be a command, or that command should be given to the personnel to maintain an activity among the personnel. To coordinate, that is bind together and unifying and harmonize all activities and efforts. To control, that see that everything occurs in conformity and is with established rules and express command. The administration, according to Henry Fayol, encompasses the POC, that is planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling. I will make a separate video on all these things such as planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling. According to Fayol, administrative ability rather than the technical ability is required at the higher level of an organization. Thus, he wrote that technical ability predominates the lower down the ladder and managerial ability higher up. Means administrative ability is essential in the organization, which is required at the higher level of organization rather than the technical ability. Means suppose a person is not having who is not having the technical ability can be placed or can be the manager or can be placed at a higher level in the organization, but the person who is only having with the technical ability cannot be posted at the higher level of an organization, because at higher level we need managerial ability, not the technical ability. Means at higher level we need to make planning, organizing and commanding and coordinating, controlling, but we do not need the technical assistance at the high. We need the technical assistance, but we do not only requires the technical ability at the higher level of an organization. It is believed that administrative ability cannot be developed though technical knowledge alone. Means if a person is not is only having a technical knowledge, he can we believe that technical ability cannot be developed through technical knowledge. If a person is having only a technical knowledge, he is not able to handle the organization, he is not able to manage the organization at the higher level. But if a person is, and he suggested that administrative training of all employees at all level. In fact, he is the first writer who pleaded for the administrative training. Means if you all felt that administrators should have six attributes or six qualities such as physical, mental, moral, general education, special knowledge and experience. Means administrator should have these six attributes or six qualities of so that he can manage the administration in a very effective and efficient manner. Principle of administration. Henry Fayol specified 14 principles of administration. They are division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability, initiative and is respect the corps. Means these are the 14 principles which are given by the Henry Fayol. So we will discuss one by one. Fayol agreed that this is not a complete or exhaustive list of principle of administration. Means they can be added or subtracted according to the need. Means if there is a need of the time, so we can add any principle to this list, 14 principle of this administration, or we can also subtract any principle from this list. So there is not a complete or exhaustive list of the principle of administration. He wrote that there is no limit to the number of principles of administration. Every administrative rule or device which strengthens the human part of an organization, facilitates its working, takes it believed that among principles so long as the experience prove it to be worthy of this important position. See, one thing is can be marked or make a note of it, that Henry Fayol is giving the preference to the human part in the organization, while Henry Fayol is giving the preference to the human part of an organization, while F.W. Taylor is giving the preference to the organization or human, not human resources only. Okay, so he is giving the preference to the specialization in the human in the organization. So he is concerned with the human part of the organization, but F.W. Taylor is not concerned only with the human part of the organization. He was concerned with the specialization. Means he said that if a person or if a human resource is not of a use, then we should fire that employee. So basically he was focused on the efficiency of the employee, not the human part. Henry Fayol also stated that his principle of administration are not rigid rules but are flexible and capable of adaptation to every need. Means these principles are not rigid, they are flexible in nature. That is why he said that the 14 principles which he given as the principle of administration are not complete list of administration. They can be added or subtracted as per the need of the time.
As he wrote that the soundness in the good working order of the corporate body depends on a certain number of conditions termed as interdiscriminatory principle. Means the soundness in a good working order of a corporate body depends on a certain number of conditions which are termed as interdiscriminatory principle. Means to environment in a corporate environment in a company depends on a certain number of condition, rules and regulation which are known as interdiscriminatory principles. Laws, rules. For preference, I shall adopt a principle of while deassociating it from any suggestion of rigidity, for there is nothing rigid or absolute in management affairs. Means in organization nothing is rigid or not in absolute in management affair. It is all a question of proportion. Means how you are going to react to that situation. Means it is just a question of proportion. Seldom do we have to apply the same principle twice in identical condition. Allowance must be made for different changing conditions. Means if the conditions are changing, then there should be changes in the principles as well. Henry Fayol stated that the codification of principle is indispensable. He emphasizes without principle one in the darkness and chaos. Means if there is no principle, then one will be in darkness and chaos. Interest, experience, proportion are still very handicapped even with the best principle. If there is a best principle inherent in the organization but someone is in darkness or without principle, the organization or the people in the organization will be a chaos, and lack of interest and experience will be there. Principle is in the lighthouse fixing the bearing, but it can not only serve to those who already know the way into port. The 14 principles of Henri Fayol are explained below. Now we will discuss these 14 principles of administration one by one. These 14 principles of administration. So first we will discuss division of work, that is specialization. Specialization belongs to a natural order. The object of specialization is to produce more and better work with the same effort. Means if a person is specialized in a particular field, then he can produce a more and he can perform a better than the other person who do not having the specialization in that field. That is why he emphasizes on the division of work, like divide the work as per the capability or as per the specialization. It is applicable to the technical work as well as to other work which involves a number of people and demand ability to various type. It results in a specialization of function and separation of power. Means if we divided the work into different departments or which department which are concerned with the specialization only, or department made on the basis of a specialization only, then there will be a specialization of function and separation of power will also be exist there. Then next is authority and responsibility. Please make a note that if there is authority, then there must be a responsibility. Otherwise, that the future of that organization will be in trouble in absence of any one of them. Henri Fayol defined that authority as a right to give order and power to exact obedience. According to Fayol, authority and responsibility are interrelated and commensurate. In his word, authority do not be conceived of apart from responsibility, that is, apart from the sanction, reward or penalty which goes with the exercise of power. Responsibility is a corollary of authority. It is a natural consequence and essential counterpart. Whatever so authority is exercised, responsibility arises. Means if authority is exercised, then responsibility must be arises there. Fayol made a distinction between a manager's official authority and personal authority. The former means manager's official authority is derived from the office and the latter is compounded. Means personal authority is compounded of intelligence, experience and moral worth, ability to lead, past services and so on. Means there is a difference between official authority and personal authority. Official authority, which is related to the office, and the letter authority means the personal authority. It is a mixture, it is a compounded of intelligence, experience, moral worth, and ability to lead the team, and so on. He believed that in making of a good head, personal authority is indispensable complement of official authority. Means with the official authority, or in the presence of official authority, there must be a personal authority as well in making of a good head. If you want to become a good head, then with official authority, you should also have personal authority as well. Next is discipline. Discipline in respect of agreement, which is directed to achieving the obedience, applications, energy, and outmark of respect. It is incumbent upon managers at higher level as much upon lower level employees. At best, means of establishing and maintaining it are. Means discipline should be there in the organization for the goodwill, or we can say for the growth of the company. It is essential for the growth of the company, because if in absence of discipline, then every person in the organization will come at their own time. There will be no fixed working hours for the employees. Discipline is respect for agreement, means you have agreed the terms and condition of the company, and discipline is respect in that only. Best means of establishing and maintaining it are good superiors at all level. There should be a good superiors at all level. Agreement is clear, as fair as possible. Sanction, penalty judicially applied. Means then we have unity of command. By this, Fayol means that for any action whatsoever, an employee should receive order from one superior only. We have already discussed this, that one superior should receive order from one supervisor only. He further added that should it be violated, authority is undermined, discipline is in jeopardy, order disturbed, and stability threatened. Means if it is violated, then authority will be in undermined, discipline is in jeopardy, order will get disturbed, and stability will be in threat, or stability threatened. He has stated that the individual cannot adapt a dual command, because it is obvious that we cannot perform a two activity at the same time. Two superior issuing order in a sphere which each thinks of his own constitute dual commands. Every person has his own perspective, then two superior will give a order in their own sphere, in their own constitute, and he cannot, or employee cannot follow the two superiors at the same time. According to Fayol, following factor results in dual command. If there is a dual command in the organization, then following factor will be the result. Dividing up the authority between the two members, imperfect demarcation of departments, constant linking up of different departments, and natural intermeshing of function and duties are often badly defined. So these were the result if there is a dual command in the organization. Next is unity of direction. Henri Fayol expressed as the unity of direction as one head, one plan for a group of activities having the same objective. Means if a group of activities is same or having a same objective, then there should be a one plan or one head of that particular activity or for that project. According to him, it is essential for unity of action, coordination of strength, and focusing the effort. He also questioned that unity of direction, one head, one plan, should not be confused with unity of command. Means unity of command states that there should be one superior for one employee only. Means one employee should receive order from one superior only. But unity of direction states that if the activity of a group of people is same, then there should be one head only. There should be one plan for one, and which headed by one person only, or one superior only. That means this person will lead this team. According to him, unity of direction is provided by sound organization for a body corporate. Unity of command turns on the functioning of a personnel. Means unity of direction is provided by sound organization. Means unity of direction is linked with the sound organization of a body corporate, while unity of command is related to supervisor or employee only. It is not related with the complete organization. Unity of command cannot exist without the unity of direction, but does not flow from it. Means unity of command cannot be exist if there is no unity of direction in the organization, but unity of command does not flow from it, because it cannot be flow from it, because there is only one supervisor for these multiple people. If the supervisor if there is a 5 people in a group of activity, then if there is a 5 supervisor, then we can say that it is flow from it, but there is only one supervisor, so it cannot be flow from this. Next is subordination of individual interest to general interest. Means the interest of one employee or group of employees should not be prevail over that of the organization. Means the interest of organization should be above all the interest, whether it is the interest of one employee or a group of employee. Means the interest of one employee or group of employees should not be prevail or should not be implemented over the organization. These two interests must be reconciled. The means of affecting the reconciliation is are firmness and good example on the part of superiors, agreement as fair as possible, constant supervision. There should be a constant supervision on the activities of employees. The agreement should be fair as possible. Remuneration of personnel. It is a price for service rendered. Means what is remuneration for personnel? It is a price for service rendered. It should be fair as afford satisfaction of both the employee and employers. The rate of remuneration depends on cost of living, ability of personnel, abundance or shortage, general business condition, economic position of the business, value and of the employee, and mode of payment adopted. Means remuneration should include these things, and the remuneration depends on these things such as cost of living, ability of personnel, general business condition, economic position, value of employee, and mode of payment adopted. Fayol stated that the various mode of payment such as time rate, job rate, price rate, bonuses, profit sharing, non-financial reward. Means this is a mode of payment includes that there is a mode of payment such as the time rate. We can pay the employee as per the according to the time. We can pay the employee according to the job. We can pay the employee according to the pieces. We can pay the employee by bonuses. We can share the profit or non-financial rewards such as gift. The next is centralization. Centralization, like division of work, belongs to natural order. Thus, Fayol wrote, in every organism, animal or social sensation coverage towards the brain or directive part from the brain or directive part order are sent out, which sets all of the organism in movement. He stated that centralization is present to the greater or lesser extent in all organizations. The question of centralization or decentralization is simple question of proportion. Everything which goes to increase the importance of subordinate role is decentralization. Everything goes to reduce it, it is centralization. Means in every organization there is a existence of centralization and decentralization. How Henri Fayol defined a scalar chain as the chain of superior ranging from the ultimate authority to lowest rank. The line of authority is route followed by every link in the chain. All communication which starts from the ultimate authority. According to him, the part is dictated both by the need for some transmission or by the principle of unity of command. This path is at slow and lengthy, especially in a large government organization. Hence, Fayol suggested an alternative route known as gang plan, which involves short-circuiting the procedure to speed up the communication. We have discussed the scalar chain. In any organization, if there is a at the top level, then B, then C, then D. Here it is E, F, G, and A is at top level. Then if D has to send a message to the A, then he have to follow the chain. Then, like, first he had to pass that message to C, then C will pass that message to B, then A, then to A. Means, or if D has to pass the same message to F, then A will pass that message to G, then G will pass that message to F. This is a process which is known as scalar chain. But there is a concept of gang plan, alternative route. Means D can coordinate with C and E, and C can coordinate with F. B can coordinate with G. Means they can coordinate at the same level. They cannot coordinate diagonally or by jumping any position in the organization. Like D cannot coordinate with DB. It is a kind of a short circuiting to the procedure to speed up the communication. That is why if there is a scalar chain, then communication is a lengthiest process. But gang plan is an alternative way of the scalar chain. Next is order. Fayol talks about the two types of order: material order and human social order. Means the formula in the case of material things is place for everything and everything in its place. The formula is same for human as well. A place for everyone, or place in his everyone in his place. Means right man in the right place. Means there is a order of work doing, and there is a order, there is also a order in human order as well. Means there is a right person at the right place, and a right person is at right place. Next is equity, the result from the combination of kindness and justice. Equity means this result is from a combination of kindness and justice. He says that people should be treated with kindness as to encourage them to carry out their duties with all devotion and loyalty. The head of organization should instill a sense of equality through all the level of organization. Means people should be treated with kindness, and we need to encourage them to carry out their duties and with all the devotion and loyalty. Next is stability of tenure of personnel. This time is required an employee to get used to new work and succeed in doing it well. Fayol stated that instability of tenure of personnel is both cause and affect the bed running, that is inefficiency. Means stability of tenure of personnel means there should be a stable tenure of personnel. Means for any employee or for any new employee in the organization, time is required, time is must to get used to the new work, to adapt the new environment in that company or in that organization, and in order to succeed in doing it well. Means for any person, time is required to manage to adapt the environment of the company and make or get used to the work whatever that is assigned to that person, in order to succeed in doing it well, so that he can achieve the targets and other things in the organization. Fayol stated that instability of tenure of personnel is both the cause of effect of bad running, that is inefficiency. Next is initiative. Initiative means power of thinking out a plan and executing it to ensure its success. It augments zeal and energy on the part of the employee at all level of organizational ladder. Thus, it is a great source of strength for business. However, it must be encouraged only within the limit imposed by the respect of authority and discipline. Means initiative should be taken, or initiative is good to be taken, but that should be in respect of authority and discipline only. Esprit de corps, it means harmony or union among the personnel of an organization. Esprit de corps means harmony and the union among the personnel of organization. It is a great source of strength in the organization. There should be a harmony in the organization, or harmony among the personnel of the organization, and will be a great source of strength. Fayol stated that for promoting esprit de corps, the principle of unity of command should be observed, and danger of divide and rule and abuse of written communication should be avoided. Means divide and rule and abuse of written communication should be avoided, and there should be a unity of command in the organization. Now we will discuss Taylor versus Henry Fayol, means scientific management of principle versus classical approach to the organization. Means we will discuss scientific management versus classical approach. Both were contemporary, though from different countries. These two pioneers offered in their perspective, focus, attention and orientation, personality, purpose, emphasis, and so on, and these are summarized in the table 3.1. Now we will discuss the difference between Taylor and Henry Fayol. Taylor was basically, the Taylor principle is known as the scientific management theory, while Henry Fayol principle was known as classical approach to the administration. So, F.W. Taylor concentrated on the operative and shop floor level, that is analysis of workers' activity. F.W. Taylor was emphasized on the shop floor, means lower level of the organization, while Henry Fayol was concentrated on the top level and analysis of the manager activity. Means Henry Fayol was concentrated on the managerial level, means at top level. F.W. Taylor worked on from bottom to top level, hence his theory is known as bottom up theory, while Fayol's theory is known as top down theory. Means Taylor was worked from the bottom to top level, means from lower level to the higher level, while Henry Fayol was working on the model which is known as top down theory, means top to down level. Taylor's main concern was to improve the productivity of labor and eliminate wastage, as Taylor clearly mentioned that if there is a employee, or if there is a productivity of employee, then we should need them. Otherwise, eliminate the wastage, means eliminate the inefficient worker from the organization. While Henry Fayol's concern was to develop a universal or general theory of management and or administration. F.W. Taylor emphasized on the efficiency of workers and managers in actual production, while Henry Fayol emphasized on the functions of management as a whole and principle involved therein. Means principles are involved in the management, in their management, and he emphasized on the functions of management, while Taylor emphasized on the efficiency of workers. If there is an efficient worker in the organization, then it is okay, otherwise we need to fire them. F.W. Taylor focused on increasing the productivity through work simplification and standardization. Means as Taylor mentioned that there is a standard way of doing every activity in the organization. Henry Fayol focused on improving the overall administration by observing a certain principle. He was working on the improvement of overall administration in the organization. Next, Taylor's ideas are based on the scientific experimentation, observation and measurement. That is why his theory is also known as scientific management theory. But Henry Fayol's ideas were based on the personal experience. Taylor was stressed on the technical side of the work, while Fayol stressed on the administrative side of the work or managerial side of the work. Taylor studied micro aspects management of task, hence his theory is known as micro theory, while Fayol's theory is known as macro theory, because management of total, he emphasized on the management of total organization. Taylor's approach was relatively rigid, while Henry Fayol clearly mentioned that principles of the administration are not fixed. They are flexible in nature. We can add or subtract any principle according to the need of the time. Taylor was scientist and Fayol was practitioner or administrator. Taylor advocated the principle of functional foremanship and Fayol advocated the principle of unity of command. Science of industrial management, while he provided a systematic theory of management, that is administration. Taylor's principle and technique are relevant in production activities, while Fayol's principles are relevant in all functional area and his theory has wider application. However, it must be noted that the contribution of Taylor and Fayol are not contradictory or competitive, means both are gave the principles in their own perspective. Rather, they are complementary and mutually supportive. Fayol himself said in 1925 in a speech delivered at the Second International Congress held at Brussels that his contribution and those of Taylor are essentially complementary to each other. This is clear form of following similarities between them, means the similarity between the Taylor's and the Henry Fayol principle are both realize that management of the problem of personnel is the key to the industrial success or organizational success. Means if we are efficiently managing the problem of the personnel or employees, it is the key to the success or industrial success. Both applied scientific method to the problems of management. Both attempted to put the management on rational and systematic basis. Both had an experience of industry and developed their ideas through practical training and experience. Both emphasize mutual cooperation between employers and employees for the attainment of organizational goals. Means there should be a parity in a relationship between employees and employers for to achieve the goals of the organization. Both believe that managerial qualities can be acquired through training. Both realize the universality of the principle, means both realize that the principle are universally applicable and the same principle can be applied in every administration, whether it is a small kind of firm or whether it is a large multinational company or organization.